There were protests against Putin in Russia today. The Wagner Group, a military group of 50,000 mercenaries and former allies of Putin, has taken up arms against the Russian president. Military vehicles surround the center of Moscow, with planes and tanks filling the streets. There is talk of a coup against Putin. Russia continues to wage war in Ukraine. The war has been ongoing since February 2014, and there is no sign of it ending anytime soon. The latest reports indicate that Russian forces have been making some gains in the Donbass region, but they are still facing stiff resistance from Ukrainian forces. Putin has been making threats against the West. In recent speeches, Putin has warned that Russia will retaliate against any country that interferes in its war in Ukraine. He has also said that Russia is prepared to use nuclear weapons if it feels threatened. The Russian economy is in a recession. The sanctions imposed by the West have had a significant impact on the Russian economy. The value of the ruble has plummeted, and inflation is rising. Many businesses have left Russia, and unemployment is on the rise. Putin's popularity is declining. A recent poll found that Putin's approval rating has fallen to 60%. This is the lowest level of his approval rating since he came to power in 2000. The protesters were calling for an end to the war in Ukraine, and they were also demanding the release of political prisoners. The protests were met with a heavy police presence, and there were reports of arrests. According to the OVD Info website, which monitors political arrests in Russia, at least 38 people were arrested in Moscow during the protests today. This is not the first time that there have been protests against Putin in Russia. In recent years, there have been a number of large-scale protests against the government, but they have all been met with a heavy police presence and arrests. It is unclear what impact, if any, the protests today will have. However, they are a sign that there is still dissent in Russia, even though the government has cracked down on dissent in recent years.